The message arrived at 11:42 p.m. My phone lit up in the dark, one sharp flash slicing through the quiet. "We've changed the locks. You don't live here anymore. Let's see how tough you really are." For a few seconds I couldn't breathe. My eyes stayed fixed on the words, my thumb hovering above the screen as if it could burn me. I read it once, then again until the message stopped being shocking and became something else, fuel. I didn't cry. I didn't call. I didn't beg. I just smiled, because they had no idea home was never the walls they owned. And what came next would tear down the empire they'd built on guilt, greed, and control. My name is Lydia Park, 29 years old. I work in finance. I notice details people forget, and I remember everything. I grew up in a picture-perfect suburb of Seattle, in a blue 2-story house with trimmed hedges and a maple tree that dropped golden leaves every fall. To neighbors, we were ideal. Inside, it was all performance. I was the backstage crew making the illusion run. It started when I was 13. "Lydia, hold the ladder. Lydia, bring me the wrench." Weekends disappeared into chores that felt like punishment disguised as bonding. I built decks, painted fences, fixed leaky roofs. My hands were covered in calluses while my younger brother Ethan lounged on the couch playing video games. Dad would laugh, pat my shoulder. "You're tougher than any boy I could have asked for." Mom would smile. "Ethan's sensitive. You're our rock." That phrase, "our rock," was their way of saying our servant. By the time I was 20, I was paying bills temporarily to help the family. By 24, I was covering rent, utilities, and loan payments, while they quietly funneled money into Ethan's future. He got a new car, study abroad in Spain, and a paid apartment. I got exhaustion and pride because I thought being dependable meant being loved. Then last spring, I overheard them in the kitchen. "The deed's in our names," Mom said. "Lydia doesn't need to know. She thinks all that money was just helping out." Dad chuckled. "She's too soft to ask for receipts." "And Ethan? He'll get everything when we sell." I stood there frozen, listening to them divide what I had built. That night I didn't scream or cry. I opened my laptop and started building a case. For the next 7 months I lived 2 lives. Accountant by day, quiet investigator by night. I pulled every record, transfers, receipts, text messages. I traced $89,500 in mortgage payments, $26,000 in renovation costs, and $18,000 in utilities, all from my accounts. Every nail, every brushstroke, every dollar. When I was done, my spreadsheet could have made a judge weep. I met with 3 attorneys. Each one said the same thing. "You have a case. A strong one." I waited. Then came the text, the locks, the cruelty, the arrogance. That message became the final piece of evidence I needed. The next morning I called my lawyer. "File it," I said. 2 days later, my parents' attorney called back, frantic. "Miss Park, this is serious. We need to talk." I didn't respond. I wanted them to feel it, the panic, the loss of control. A week later, we faced each other across a sterile conference room table. My parents looked furious. Ethan looked confused. I felt nothing. My lawyer opened the folder. All my records. Transfers, statements, proof of labor and costs. Every time they'd called it temporary help. Every lie they'd told. And then the text, their own words threatening me. Their lawyer went pale. My parents went silent. Finally, my father burst out. "Those were gifts. You're turning family into business." My lawyer smiled faintly. "Mr. Park, the law already did." 6 weeks later, the court ruled. I owned 45% of the property. Not out of pity, out of proof. I forced the sale. The house went for $720,000. My share, after taxes and fees, $315,000. Their dream of a luxurious retirement? Gone. I bought my own place. A small townhouse, peaceful, bright, and fully mine. They still try to contact me sometimes. Emails about forgiveness. Voicemails about family values. Ethan sends half-hearted texts saying he didn't know. But he did. Now when I lock my own front door, I smile. Because the locks they changed don't matter. I have new ones they'll never have a key to again. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destruction. It's independence, signed, sealed, and notarized.